welcome to the Mansion House. Sam forms part of our Leaders of Tomorrow programme. Sam, welcome.
Thank you.
Delighted you're engaging with the business of trust in many different ways. So my first question, if I may, is if you had to select one of those principles, which principle would you select and why?
We've discussed and debated them. They all have their own merits. For me, it's the interests of others. I think that one can encapsulate many of the other guiding principles.
Excellent. Being part of the Leaders of Tomorrow programme, thank you. You've come up with a huge and very powerful group of suggestions and recommendations under each of the principles. So question number 2, which one would you select as being the key, most critical of those recommendations, and again for what particular reason?
I'm going to pick 2 and break it.
Yes.
The first is having a clear purpose beyond profit making. That one particularly because I think capitalism is something I believe in, but at the same time it benefits the few, not the many. And I think that there may be new models, and again I'll talk about that in one of my other answers. And the second is plan for tomorrow's challenges and tell the story of your contribution. I think we should all celebrate purpose, and I think that underpins a lot of the stuff that this placemat and the civic principles are there to do.
That's a very good answer. I love the point around purpose, defining something beyond simply profit maximisation. And that's probably a very neat segue into my third question. We've debated much about the complexity of this agenda and that there is not a single light switch. But if there had to be a single recommendation that you would focus on with the communities with whom you engage, what would that recommendation be?
One of the great business leaders of our time, one of the great US business leaders of our time, Jack Welch, who ran GE for 20 odd years, he always said that with ethics you should keep it simple. And I actually agree with that because it's a broad topic and you can talk about it for days. And he said, you should be able to look at yourself in the mirror and be proud of what you're doing every day. Now that for me, coming back to the interests of others, is all about education. It's about ensuring that what drives the feeling of pride, those underlying principles that are deep rooted in an early stage, are embedded appropriately. And that's all about education, which is why in the program and initiative that you've built, the kind of overlays and underlays the Leaders of Tomorrow, you have city number 3. And I think the city number 3 actually are the most important component. We can learn lots from those that have been, we can do much in the present, but if we're not instilling the right principles early on, then it's not going to go.
Fantastic. The city number 3 being the school children that we are engaging through the Business of Trust programme. And thank you to the Leaders of Tomorrow for their support in mentoring and coaching that community. A very strong answer. My final question is a simple binary one. You might wish to add some flavour to it. But the civic principles that we've been debating this morning and beyond, and indeed the Business of Trust programme, can it help to restore and rebuild trust and trustworthiness?
Absolutely. And I violently agree with all of the stuff on the placemat here. I think one of my favourite phrases is Henry Ford saying, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. And I think the thought that's gone into this is critical. People talk about trust in an ethereal, non-material way all the time. This is very concrete. And if we address this and we embrace this with the city number 3, the children and the future, then we stand ourselves in a good place, I think, to build trust in business.
Sam Tidswell-Norrish, thank you so much for engaging in the Business of Trust programme. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It's a great honor.